Welcome
to Munda Makeover.
We have traveled all over Zambia to find hard-working farmers.
We want to share their success stories.
And where there are challenges, we will bring experts to help them gain the extra knowledge they need.
So they can adapt and make their farms more productive even while the climate changes.
We want to support them to get better yields.
And increase their income.
We will see how farmers from across the country can benefit from our experts' advice.
While also learning from each other in so many ways.
Join us on these journeys and share in the farmers' experiences as they improve their farms.
On
Munda Makeover!
Hello farmers, we're back. But before we start visiting new farms, we want to go back to the old farmers that we visited to see what happened in their farms and talk more about climate change. Last week, we looked at how plant catalyst can help in climate change. We also learned that with animal and crop insurance, you add another layer of protection against climate change. Today, we'll look at how some insurance works and see the power of farmers coming together. We're visiting the Mungas who suffered a loss in their maize production as their maize was attacked by 4 armyworm. Mr. Munga is afraid of crop insurance because it's new to him. Can our expert change his mind?
For our next story, I'll be shedding some light on a subject that many farmers might think is a scam. Interested? Follow me.
With climate change at our doorsteps, crop insurance is necessary for farmers. But why are small-scale farmers afraid to have insurance? Maize Kamwambi from Better World Innovations will help us see just how important crop insurance is.
What kind of risks do you cover?
These are losses on yields, damage on crops, risks where the germination didn't come out well for the plants. With regards to climate change, crop insurance has really become important to the farmers. Weather patterns are difficult to understand for farmers. So this is the time where we have a lot of rains and then the crops die. In terms of drought, there is no rainfall, then the crops, they will eventually die.
First of all, I didn't know there is something like insuring for farming. And secondly, as usual, when something is new, people fear to take it up, so to some sort of fear that maybe it's a scam. When
they have the insurance, they are covered. If there's a drought, they are covered. They will be sleeping peacefully in their homes. So insurance is important and they should know that it is not a scam. That information is very, very helpful. It's a good information for a farm to have.
I want to know, have you had a situation where you've had all your crop damaged or lost a particular yield on a field?
Not all, at least in some cases we have lost about half of the field has been destroyed by armyworm, 4 armyworms.
So in his case, where he has half the field is destroyed, do you still cover that?
Yes.
Okay.
The farmer is not going to know what pests are going to come and attack his crops. So as an insurance, we cover this.
I want to find out what time should I do my insurance? Is it before planting or any time that the crop is growing?
You pay for these premiums before you plant.
Okay.
Yes. Currently, we are working with smallholder farmers.
Okay.
We have what we are calling area yield insurance.
Area Yield Index insurance is done on the actual measured yields in a given area. So for example, let's say Mr. Munga and other farmers in his region insure their maize for the next season. The insurance company will visit the area and map it. As the farmers plant their maize, the insurance company will also plant a small portion of maize in some farms and supervise them as an experiment. The performance report card from all these experimental plots will then be used to judge whether the farmers have had a good season and should have good yields, or they have made a loss and should be paid by the insurance company.
So for maize, per hectare is at 10%, is able to cover a premium at 5,500 kwacha.
Okay.
That 10% For us now, the farmer is not paying the whole amount. We are now selling a subsidized insurance. The initial payment he would have paid is 550 kwacha because that is 10% of 5,500. But now this subsidy, it is reduced by 58%.
Wow.
So we only ask him to pay 201 kwacha for this farming season at 1 hectare.
The charges are reasonable.
They are reasonable.
They are affordable.
Well, the farmer definitely says that.
Suppose if the yield is bad such that only half of the yield is
Comes
obtained.
out, yeah.
So how do you pay out?
We go and do a physical check. Then they will advise the farmer, no, out of this yield, your loss is at this percent and you are going to be paid so much.
Okay. So like, for example, the way they had a 50% loss, their payment would have been a 50% payout.
Yes, 50% payout.
Okay.
Yes.
Knowledge is a power. When you learn much, then you're going to develop.
So Mr. Munga wants to grow maize in the next season and is expecting a yield of 25 bags. For example, with a price of 280 kwacha per bag, he will get 7,000 kwacha from his harvest. So, if he was to take an insurance against total crop failure, he will pay 10% premium of the expected yield, which is 700 kwacha. Having done all the good agronomical practices on his maize and the crop still fails 100%, he will then get a payout of 7,000 kwacha. If he subtracts the 10% premium paid, he remains with 6,300 kwacha. This will take him through the season and he will also buy inputs for the next planting. Meanwhile, if his neighbor plants the same crop with the same expected yield and does not insure his maize, then he will go at a total loss of 7,000 kwacha. So taking insurance on your crops and livestock is a smart way of protecting ourselves as farmers.
Suppose I'm a good farmer, I've done what I can, and then I get maybe 90% of my yield. I'm going to refund that money which I paid you for insurance since you won't pay me for any damage?
The payouts only come when you have a loss.
I think you've opened up a lot for us, especially now that we have climate change and it's affecting the yields of people. This is the time to get yourself some crop insurance.
You have helped us to understand things that we didn't know.
Let's now travel to Eastern and see how farmers have come together and are reaping benefits as a group. Joining a cooperative is not necessarily a new idea. They've been around a while. But how a cooperative works, that can be. Let's find out. Hello. I'm meeting Daisy Lunda from the Ministry of Agriculture. She's going to tell us all about the Maize Co-op. It's part of the project fully funded by the European Union.
Firstly, our farmers, their major source of income is farming. So working as an individual, they face a lot of challenges. Firstly, they have to consider the cost of buying inputs.
Right.
And when you look at the distance where they purchase inputs from, it's very far.
Right.
Even when they produce the harvest, they have to consider transport costs where they are going to sell their produce.
Right.
The other challenges that they face as on individual basis is labor.
Okay.
Most of our farmers, they grow up about 2 to 5 hectares.
Wow.
So working as an individual on such a large
Piece of land.
it's really a challenge.
It can be.
You consider planting,
Yes.
weeding,
Right.
harvesting, and also knowledge, skills. It's a challenge to work as an individual. You miss out on important information,
Right.
skills.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't want to be facing all of those challenges by myself. It's always easier to share the load when you have someone right by your side and preferably many people by your side to work with. And who are we going to be meeting today?
We're going to meet a big farmer, Mr. Chira.
Right.
He's from Chimaliro Cooperative.
Great.
So I'm sure they'll explain to you the benefits of being in a group.
I'm absolutely looking forward. Let's get to it.
Okay.
And here's Chirwa with his fellow farmers from the Maize Co-op. Why is it better to be farming as a group?
The government of today wants
groups to work together, then they finance something into that group.
Okay.
You share knowledge to the group.
Okay.
We have seen a lot of benefits from this cooperative. It's easy for them to access finances. When they go to any financial institution to help them with the resources that they will need for the benefit of the group, it will be easy for them to access that.
Okay, now let's hear from the members and see what they think.
Sometimes you buy inputs by yourself, and during planting, you realize you didn't buy the right input. It is better to decide as a group and buy as a group. If it's fertilizer, you buy as a group other than buying as an individual.
From the group, with the help of the extension officer, they're able to share skills and knowledge.
I have learned a lot from this group. For example, weed management, how to plant, and how to do the right spacing between crops from one crop to another crop.
This is so much information that we're all gaining here. Weed management and learning how to correctly apply chemicals to ensure that they get a good crop. What else might we be learning from group?
From the group, we get to learn new things and we can go out and teach others.
We cannot run any project without a business plan.
Absolutely.
So we have learned about how to come up with a business plan. By now I know how to write a business plan.
Ah, fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be very good.
If we go to one member's farm, it takes us only one day to prepare the land. Then the next day we move to another farm.
So as a group, we share ideas, many ideas, how to cultivate.
I like that system a lot. Able to share knowledge through cultivating one neighbor's farm and the other neighbor's farm and the other neighbor's farm. Daisy, it's been absolutely amazing sitting here with the group and hearing these lovely stories of the benefits that they've been able to receive from the trainings, the labor, from being able to keep books, keep records. All of this is being learned as a group. Co-ops really help in training and labor, but there's something else. Most farmers think that marketing of the crop comes at a later stage when you start harvesting. But our expert says it should be the first thing before even putting seeds into the ground. And being in a cooperative is very important when it comes to selling your harvest.
Daisy is here again to help explain how co-ops can help. It's all part of a project fully funded by the European Union.
Mr. Chirwa, first things first, what crops are you planting this season?
I'll be planting maize and soybeans.
What's the first thing that you do when you're planting that?
Is to put the seed into the soil.
Okay, Daisy, is that it? Is that the first thing?
Actually, that's not the first thing.
No, what is?
The first thing the farmer should think about is to plan for the crop that the farmer is going to plant.
To plan for the crop?
Marketing should be the first thing, because farming is a business.
Ah, okay. So how do you go about this?
So when the farmer is planning, should think about the crop that he's going to market, where he's going to sell that crop, at what price that crop will be sold, not forgetting the cost of the inputs that will be involved, considering the area of land that he wants to work with.
Okay, Daisy.
Sure.
But how can a farmer get all that information when they're just at the beginning?
They have officers that can help them, extension officers, even the marketing department at the Ministry of Agriculture can help them.
Tell me more about how you research the markets.
So what a farmer should consider is the cost of inputs for that particular crop,
okay,
the demand for that particular crop, the price of the produce, and the availability of the markets.
Okay. Now, I would like to know now, Daisy, you've determined the market, you've planted your crop, and you've harvested your crop. What next? What is the next step?
The farmer should think about aggregation.
Okay.
And aggregation is where each individual farmer brings their produce together at a particular point. That is important because it will help the farmer with transportation costs, even bargaining power of their produce. They'll have a higher say in the price of their produce because they're the ones in actual sense who have been involved in the production and they know their costs. So they'll bargain for a higher price for their crops.
Okay. Mr. Chirwa, as a cooperative, can you tell us how you yourself have benefited?
I've benefited a lot. Dividend from there, which we received from a cooperative after selling the produce.
Okay.
It's easy for them to be linked to other stakeholders.
Okay.
Yes, like for agro dealers, if they want to do group purchasing, it's easy for them. They can also do outgrower scheme. It's very important.
How does group purchasing work?
Well, group purchasing is where farmers put together their monies to purchase inputs. They select a supplier who will supply them with the inputs that they require. It's possible for them to have a discount, sure, unlike buying on an individual basis. And they can get their inputs in bulk at once.
Mr. Chirwa, what is the most big thing that you've gotten through group purchasing?
Transportation, if you put things together, transport becomes very cheap.
Well, that's all very interesting, but let's make it make sense. Let's get down to the details.
Co-ops help cut the price of transport, saving money. Aggregation means buyers come to you rather than you having to find them. And co-ops mean you get a better price as there is more to sell.
Can you explain to us the benefits that you've experienced in bulking, in aggregation?
Bulking yama inputs ngembangani ogura.
If you buy inputs in bulk as a group, it is cheaper. At the same time, the seller gives us free transport. From Lusaka to here. It's a saving to us.
Before we started bulking, we used to sell our farm produce at a very cheap price. But now, with bulking, we get a good price.
The other benefit is we bring the market closer to us. So in aggregation, we bring those buyers closer to us.
You don't have to go looking for the buyers come looking for you.
Yes.
Okay, that's very interesting, and I think that's something that everyone is benefiting from.
It seems working as a group really benefits these farmers, and the news is spreading fast. Another group also realized this is the way to go. They wanted to plant many trees to help fight climate change, but doing many at a go was a challenge. And this is how their group was formed. How do you really benefit from working as a group?
As a group, work is easy. We share the work. It takes time to plant 10,000 trees, but in a group, we do it very easily.
That sounds fantastic. I mean, labor is a very important thing when it comes to farming.
As a group, it's very easy to find a better market and to share business ideas.
I like that. That is very crucial.
I am the guard. That is the job the group has given me. To guard the trees. In a group, it is easy to protect our trees and guard them from charcoal burners. Something you cannot do on your own.
So it's easier for you to guard your trees as a group by emphasizing that your trees must not be cut and be protected. And who else?
You see, when we plant trees, there are some organizations that give us grants, carbon credit money.
Right, so the more you protect your trees, it also brings a financial benefit to the whole group.
We also train in our groups and help each other on how to farm, how to plant our seeds, take care of our crops.
You can't learn much by yourself. There's a lot we share. From the group, I learned about savings, I saved, and even bought land from my savings.
Absolutely brilliant, because without land, you can't farm. Working as a group has certainly helped these farmers. And now, it's time to say goodbye. But before we meet again next week, let's look at the weather.
Welcome to the Munda Makeover Farming News for Zambia. Today, we are going to have a look at Zambia's rainfall seasonal forecast for December 2023 to March 2024. We expect varying rainfall patterns across the country. When making such forecast, experts look at how much rain we have been getting in the past years. They then predict if the coming season will be normal, above normal, or below normal in a given area. Let's dive into the details. As shown on the map, the start of rains is anticipated in November for most regions, except for the southern areas where it is expected to start by the end of December and northwestern areas expected to start in October. During October to December, Luapula, Northern, Muchinga, Lusaka, Central, and Copperbelt provinces, including Lundazi, Chama, Kaoma, Kabompo, and Kalabo districts, can expect normal to below normal rainfall. However, southern, western, most of northwestern and eastern provinces, including Mansa and Mpika districts, expect normal to above normal rainfall. Moving into January 2024, the eastern half of Zambia, including Kabompo district in northwestern province, is likely to experience normal to below normal rainfall. Meanwhile, southern, western, northwestern, and the northern parts of Luapula and Muchinga provinces, including Munda district, are expected to receive normal to above normal rainfall. For December to February 2024, Copperbelt, Central, and Lusaka provinces, spanning across Joma, Petauke, Nyimba, Mbala, Zambezi, Kabompo, Chembe, Milenge, to Mansa districts, are projected to have normal to below normal rainfall. Eastern, Muchinga, Northern, Luapula, Southern, Western, and Northwestern provinces, however, can anticipate normal to above normal rainfall during this period. In the final stretch of the season, spanning January to March, most parts of Zambia are likely to experience normal to above normal rainfall, except for Ikelenge, Mwinilunga, Mpika, Kasama, Livingston, Mazabuka, Monze, Kafiwe, and Siavonga districts, which will get normal to below normal rainfall. Tips for farmers. If you are in areas that expect less rain, use an ox-drawn ripper or make basins using a hand hoe to prepare your fields. Also, plant cowpeas alongside maize to provide cover for the soil, and after harvest, leave the crop residues on the farm as mulch. This way, you will conserve water in the soil. Plant drought-tolerant seeds and early maturing crop varieties like sorghum, cowpea, or beans. Additionally, try to plant more than one crop. For example, you could have maize with an oil crop like soybeans or sunflower. This way, you will sell oil crops for income as well. Finally, plan to provide small livestock like goats or pigs with water at home in a bucket if communal water points are far away. On the other hand, if you are in areas that expect rain, make sure to collect rainwater from your corrugated iron sheet roof by directing it into a tank, and you will have water to use when the rains are over. Scout your farm for pests and diseases, especially the fall armyworm in maize, and as soon as you spot them, contact your local agricultural officer for advice on the right pesticide to use. Spray your livestock against ticks, which increase during the rainy season. Also, rotate the crow to prevent it from getting muddy, ensuring your livestock's hooves stay dry and prevent foot rot disease. See you next week on the Munda Makeover Weather News.